Hi, we're here today at the Marin Endoscopy, the Endoscopy Center of Marin. I was here a few weeks ago as a patient getting a procedure, namely a colonoscopy, because I've reached that age. I wanted to find out more and dig in deeper to the Endoscopy Center of Marin.
We may be silly.
That's fine. I can handle silly.
What is the Endoscopy Center?
There's usually two procedures we do here, and there's uppers and what we call uppers and lowers. And the upper is when they go in with a scope, a long, thin scope, through the mouth, down the esophagus. They check out the esophagus as they're going down, and check the stomach, and sometimes peek into the small intestine. Or the other procedure that we do is a colonoscopy, where they go into the rectum and go up into the large intestine and check for polyps and cancers. We have 4 doctors and we have 2 rooms going at all times, and so we do about 26 a day. That's the top number that we can do.
Wow, what a bunch of assholes.
Yeah. that was an old one.
Okay. What do you tell people when you're like in a bar or something and they ask
that's
you what
a
you
good
do?
question, because actually all the nurses discuss that. And we usually tell them that we're in same-day surgery. We don't get.
You don't go into it?
No, because once you say that, you do colonoscopies, and they go, well, what's that? And then you explain it to them, and then the conversation just ends.
Yeah. Do your parents know what you do?
Well, yeah, they do. I used to be a lactation consultant. That's, you help moms with breastfeeding. And I got a little tired of that, so I decided to do something else. And as one of the doctors said, so you found some other soft, round mounds of flesh to work with. I said, yeah. But then I saw some, and it's not bad at all. It's like, it's very gentle, and the patients are very comfortable. They're sleeping through it, so it's not, so it's really, it sounds much worse than it is.
I can say from my own experience, I was afraid, but the actual thing was not.
It's not bad at all.
It was not bad at all.
No.
Yeah, it was much more premeditated fear.
Yeah,
than
fear of the unknown. Actually, GI doctors are really nice, and you know why? Because they don't have that big ego that like surgeons have.
I am God.
Or emergency room doctors have. You have a big ego, you don't work with butts.
Also, you ever have problems with gas?
Oh no, we encourage them to pass a lot of air. So we do get a lot of tubing going on in the recovery room because we put a lot of air in.
Is that a big problem, getting people to come in and get their procedure done?
I would say, ever since Katie Couric did her little thing on TV.
Well, that's what...
Is that what got you going?
That's what got me going.
She made a huge difference because I worked here, I started working here about the time she did that, and we saw a huge increase in the number of people coming in for colonoscopies after that.
Do you ever get people that feel violated by the procedure?
No, I've never had that.
Or anybody that says, hey, I don't want to be knocked out,
I have had people not want to be knocked out because they're either workaholics and they have work to do that day and they don't want to be drugged, or
they just want to come through,
get it done and get back to work. Yeah, it's either they're workaholics or they are control freaks, and they don't want to lose control with the drugs. They want total control.
Have you ever heard that story about Richard Gere?
No.
Don't you do it! Don't!
Endoscopy comes from the Greek word to look inside.
Oh, does it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it says that right in the brochure.
Oh.
Have you ever looked inside and saw something staring back at you?
No, not yet.
Do you guys ever play jokes on any of your patients?
Not on the patients, we play them on the doctors. Everybody comes in here so clean. Everybody thinks that we deal with a lot of poop, and we don't. Because you guys are so clean when you come in here.
Yeah, I know, we really have to clean ourselves out.
Yeah, I know, you have to work harder. We had these little squirt guns, and when we walk into the recovery room, we're holding our clipboard like this, and we're giving report to the other nurse. And as we talked to them and gave them report, we squirted them. So she would feel something wet, but she didn't know where it was coming from or what it was. And they'd kind of be like, ooh. And one nurse got so upset, she's like, I'm sorry, I have to go change my clothes. And she just ran off and went to change her clothes because she thought it was, poop or something from somewhere. She didn't know. She just knew it was wet and it was gross and she didn't want it. So we had a good laugh over that. One lady I can think of offhand is she came in and she said, will he be gentle? And I said, I think he'll be gentle. She goes, would you write that on my butt? And I go, be gentle? And she said, yeah. So we got a Sharpie out, we wrote real big, be gentle. And so when the doctor flipped up the blanket, that's what he saw. And she was already asleep, so it was unfortunate because she didn't get to see his reaction, but it was great. He was like, oh, of course I will. But then we had one guy come in on March 17th, and he had his wife paint a big shamrock on his bottom. We don't hire anybody here who doesn't have a good sense of humor. It's part of the interview process. So
Oh,
people come through here who are way too serious. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You can't be serious to have this job.
No, because you have to be able to laugh at it. You have to help the patients laugh at it because they're scared and embarrassed. Most people fall asleep, and then when they wake up, they're done. When we go in, we look for polyps, and then we take the polyps out, and they're usually really small. You know, like maybe as big as the end of my little finger.
So you see something bad, you can take it out.
Well, we take it out, and it's not necessarily bad. We take it out and we send it to the lab, and the lab tells us whether it would have grown into cancer or not.
I see.
And if it's totally benign and wouldn't have grown into cancer, it's not that type of tissue, then, you know, we just took out a benign polyp. But if it was the type that would have grown into cancer, if that person had waited, say, 10 years, it would have been full-blown cancer.
I see.
So colon cancer is one of the few, actually I think it's the only cancer that you can prevent before it happens. As opposed to the other cancers, like, you know, like breast cancer, you find the lump, but it's already cancer, and it's already a problem, it's already an issue. The earlier you find it, the better, but it's already a cancer. But we're finding these before they turn into cancer. It's a good feeling.
All right.
For people who have no history, no family history of colon cancer or family history of polyps, those people should start at age 50. No, I'm due. I just turned 50 in July. But I have to choose which doctor I want to see my butt. Who I can work with after they've seen my butt.
For the doctor you chose, are the other doctors going to be
jealous?
Resentful that you didn't choose them?
I doubt it, not at my age. Maybe if I was 22 or something. They don't take it personally, because they have to choose their doctors too, so, you know. We get a lot of questions about is whether you should do the colonics and stuff. Most of the doctors agree that it's not healthy and it's not good, and if your body was meant to do it, it would do it on its own. I haven't heard one doctor say, oh yeah, that's a great idea.
I defecate. When's the last time you did that?
Anything else?
Bye.
I got nothing else.